25 years ago, it was about developing Toyota, where the plants were going, whether it was down in San Antonio, elsewhere. Now, all about EVs. And he said it. It's a hot market right now, so hot that, they're running out of prime locations. Joe, this is one of those interviews that you should pay attention to because I hear this question all the time. How many of these plants are coming to the U.S. in the Southeast and the Midwest? Who's picking these sites? Let's bring in Dennis Cuneo of DC Strategic Advisors. Dennis, you are at the heart of a lot of the selection sites that are being made when somebody says we're putting a battery plant or we're putting a final assembly plant for an electric vehicle somewhere. How hot is the market right now? And am I correct? Your company has actually had to turn down some business simply because there are so many who are in the process of deciding to put a battery plant or a final assembly plant somewhere?
Phil, I've been in the auto industry 40 years, and I've never seen this kind of investment. In the past 2 years, there have been over 20 multi-billion-dollar projects announced, and there's more coming, especially with the enactment of the Inflation Reduction Act. It provides some significant incentives, so I think we're going to continue to see more and more investment.
So are we, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but when you and I have talked in the past, you said, look, it's running so hot, we can't handle all the business. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. That's accurate. And I work with a company called Walbridge. It's a large construction company, and Walbridge has had to turn away some significant projects because they simply don't have the resources to handle. They're as full as they can be.
Explain for people so they understand just how much money the IRA, the new package, covers in terms of manufacturing facilities so that a company, when they're building a new site, a lot of this is going to be covered through the IRA bill, correct?
That's correct. And let me give you an example. Kind of a typical size EV battery cell plant is 35 gigawatts, $3 billion investment. The IRA has a production tax credit that provides a $35 per kilowatt hour for the battery cells, another $10 for the battery packs. So you put that together, if that 35 gigawatt plant is running at full capacity, in 1 year it will generate $1.5 billion in tax credits. So in 2 years, that project would have been paid for. If that plant only runs at 50% capacity, it would still be paid for in 4 years. So it's an incredible incentive that you do for the consumer tax credit. One requirement is the battery cell and the packs must be made in America. But there's no income limits, no limits on the price of vehicles, et cetera, and the credit goes right to the manufacturer. Investments being spread around states like Arizona, Kansas, Texas, South Carolina, North Carolina. So it's being spread across the country, and everybody seems to be getting a piece of it.
Last question, Dennis. Why can't we just retool old plants? We're going to get these new EPA rules likely announced on Wednesday. That's going to really force the automakers to build even more EVs, even faster. And I get this question all the time from people. Well, why can't they just take some of these, internal combustion engine plants and make them EV plants? Is it just not cost effective?
Well, on assembly plants, it's relatively easy to convert. And I think most assembly plants that are building internal combustion engine cars will be converted. But it's very difficult to convert, for example, a foundry that's building engine blocks or a factory that's building spark plugs. Those just wouldn't work, and you're going to have to do new plants. Battery cell plants are much different than other kinds of parts that we've built in the past for the auto industry. They're almost like a semiconductor fab with clean rooms, etc. So it's going to take new investment.
Go. Less than abundance. Look who raised from the dungeon. Still come through in the clutch. I'm that dime in a dozen.